Draw to cut out the parts for this box. It's 100 long by 60 wide by 40 high. Because we're using 3mm thick material, we're going to use the base. We're going to do the full size of 60 by 100. The sides, however, we're only going to go up by 37, but we're going to have the full length, 100. And the ends, we're going to go inside the sides, so that's 54 by 37. Okay, so first of all, we'll draw the base. So we just draw a box and we set it up as 100 by 60 in the size here. Make it easier, I'm going to just choose nice numbers here because then it makes it easier to position all my tabs for my finger joints. I'll use the scroll wheel to zoom in, and we start off just by drawing a rectangle 5 by 3. The 3 is because we're using 3mm material. I'll move that to approximately on the line, but it's not perfectly on the line. But what I do is I look at the Y value here. That is close to 328.5, and that will get it so that it is directly on the line. Now I want to duplicate this all the way along here, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting these out. So I do Control-Shift-D, which brings up the step and repeat over here. Because these are 5mm long and I want a 5mm gap, I want everything repeated at 10mm intervals going across, 0 up, and I want 8 of these. That there gives me all the bits that come in on that side, and if I make that the center 100, which is the same as the center for my base, then that there will give me that in the center, so that when I do my sides I can line them up. I'll now copy and paste that, drag it down, then if I hold the shift key it means that they line up nicely. That there has lined up the centers in there. I need to move it up 1.5mm, so I'll go into that 271.5. That lines that up nicely. Now I'll do my side, and this will be 100 by, say, the height of this will be 37. And we need to make that at 100. This looks like it'll be nice at 250. Right. Now, if I do Control V again, I've got another copy of these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on the bottom of here. So notice I took away 1.5mm. So these are now going to stick out the bottom. So what I do is if I select all of those and I do back minus front, that cuts those out of the base, whereas here I select all of those and weld them on, so it adds them on. So those bits that stick out will fit into each of these ones here. I'll do the end in a similar way. So if I start off with the end, that needs to be 37 by 54. See, 54 by 37 to fit in the sides on there. And we'll make this nice numbers of say 20, and we need to line it up with the other one, 300. Now I'll do my tabs here. 3 wide by 5 high, and that must be 51.5. Okay. Now this time I'm going to duplicate so that they go 0 across and -10 so that they go down. Okay, I've got too many. That's okay. I'll just delete the ones that I don't want. And then center these vertically at 300. Copy and paste those. Holding the shift key as I drag. And 148.5, so it lines up nicely on that side. Paste again. And that's be 37 to line it up there. Whoops, no, 40. Because I want these sticking out. If they're in here, they need to be out here. So again, I'll select those, do back minus front, select those and weld them on. So I've now got the bottom and the connecting finished, and now I've got to connect this side to here. Now I made this full length, so I'm going to, what I'll do is I'll just paste those, drag them down there, delete the extras. Now this now is at a center of 248.5, so I need to do that at the same center, 248.5. Copy, paste, drag that down there. And back minus front. Now, if I paste it again, I need to put them here. So now, if I turn them 90 degrees here and attach them on there, the Y value here must be 271.5 because it's it'll be a 0.5 to line that up. If I have a look at the center now, that's 21.5, so I need 21.5 here as well. Copy and paste, Control C, Control V, hold the shift key to attach it there. It's actually got me the nice thing there, and weld those on. Now, if I select those two by holding the shift key down, that one and that one, Control C, Control V, I've got another copy of those. I can move that over there, flip it over. I can see how that's going to join, and I can move that up there. I can see how that's going to join. And if I flip that over, I can see how that's going to join. Now, last thing to do is select it all, double click down here to bring up the colors, make it hairline and red. Now, you've got to use the RGB red, which is 255 red, 0 green, 0 there. Press enter, OK, and that will now cut out.